All right. Hey guys, we'll get started in a couple of minutes here. All right, couple more minutes here, guys. Hope you're doing well, and yeah, we'll get started in a couple minutes. If you're on a harder surface, go ahead and get maybe a yoga mat or a towel, blanket to lay on maybe, just so you can be comfortable through your practice. All right. Try to turn this down a little bit, I think. All right. Hope you guys are doing super well tonight. Super happy to be here with you as always. Yeah, so let's get started. Also, just disclaimer, I might have to get up a couple times and check on the time. As many of you know, this has been a saga. I have been without a watch lately, which is unlike myself now. So I'm getting a new watch tomorrow. So I'll be able to check the time. So I might have to get up a couple times, so just ignore that. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our breathing as usual. We'll lay on our backs, and collectively we'll take 3 breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we'll perform a quick body scan, so we're just trying to release into the floor, meet back together, 3 more breaths, and then we'll get started. All right, so starting on our backs, laying down, You can do any of the following options. Maybe you want to keep your feet planted while we're taking our breaths. Maybe you want to open to a reclined butterfly, or maybe if you have space, unlike me, you can straighten your legs all the way out. So go ahead, find a position that's comfortable for you. And just take some nice, gentle breaths. We begin breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Last time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we'll gently release into the floor, taking a body scan from head to toe. As we scan down, trying to release every muscle. Maybe your jaw will fall open. The tongue will release from the roof of the mouth. Maybe your hip flexors will release. Your shoulders will lengthen. Couple more breaths here on our own timing. And we'll come back together with 3 more breaths. We begin breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Last time, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we'll gently roll onto our side and make our way up to a comfortable seat. And then moving into a butterfly, yeah? So sitting nice and tall, lengthening through our spines. We're gonna gently release forward with the chest over our front legs. And try to reach those arms out as far as you can in front of you. We'll gently walk our hands over to the right. Trying to keep both sits bones planted on the ground. I don't want to lift up here. Yeah, our sits bones are both reaching towards the ground, planting there, breathing there. Again, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing into the left side of that rib cage. And releasing through center, walking to the other side. And gently walking back center, we'll roll up through the spine, and we'll gently push our legs out into a staff pose. Roll up my pants a little bit, so my legs a little bit clearer. feeling cozy today, so I got the sweatpants on, the big sweatshirt, the socks. All right, reaching forward. Pulling that chest down towards the legs. Maintaining length behind the legs. Sit bones are planted onto the ground. Long spine here. And releasing forward. Checking in with your breath. Are you still breathing nice and even? Are you noticing any new areas of tension arising? Rolling up. Again, flexing the feet, reaching forward, pulling our chest down towards our knees. And releasing forward. Good. As we roll up, we're going to grab the right foot with our left hand. We're going to roll up through the spine into an IT band stretch, yeah? So you can stay here, sickling the foot. So instead of this, sickling the foot will help give you a deeper stretch through your IT band. Sitting up nice and high on the sits bones. And for an even deeper stretch, go ahead and extend that back arm away from the leg. And releasing forward, other side, up. And reaching forward, we'll roll up through the spine, gently rolling over your shins. We're going to push back into a child's pose here, yeah? Or actually, I'm lying to you. We're going to stay in a tabletop, and we're going to work through some cat-cows. Yeah, I'll take off my sweater so you guys can see my cat-cows. All right, so hips are over our knees, shoulders are over our wrists, and we're just going to move through some cat-cows here. Try to coordinate your movement with your breath. And maybe taking some C curves side to side, that head-tail connection. And returning back to center, maybe taking a few circles with the chest. Going both directions. Good. And taking a few hip circles now, so sending those hips back, around. Really getting into those hip flexors, pushing those hips back, and we'll go other direction. Good, and pushing our toes together, sending our hips back into a child's pose here. Hanging out for a few moments, few rounds of breath. Couple more breaths. Make sure with every breath we're filling to the bottom of our lungs, filling up our rib cage. And exhaling all of that air out. We'll take a gentle stretch over to the right in our child's pose. And we'll come back center to the other side. And back center, pushing back. We'll roll up, tuck our toes, and push back into a downward facing dog. And maybe walk it out a bit. Good, and sending those heels back, pushing those hips up towards the ceiling. Staying here for a moment to stretch it out. And we're going to gently send our downstage leg up towards the ceiling, taking a few ankle circles here. And maybe dropping that leg back. A few more ankle circles. And straightening that leg. Bring it back down to center. Other side, upstage leg. Pushing up towards the ceiling. A couple ankle circles here. And dropping that leg. Few ankle circles. Good. Stretching those toes nice and long. Returning back to downward facing dog. Downstage leg returns up towards the ceiling. Whew. And we gently bring it through into a low lunge. Good. Couple cat-cow lunges here. And returning back to center. Go ahead, drop those toes, or drop any, untuck those toes, rolling up through the spine. Keep your balance. Make sure hips are nice and square. Don't let this front hip take over. Nice and square and even. And we'll gently push forward with the pelvis to get a nice hip flexor stretch. And we'll gently release forward, going back into our lunge, and pushing back into a downward facing dog. Upstage leg reaches for the ceiling, and comes through into a low lunge. Good, moving through a few cat-cow lunges here. Good, returning back to center. Dropping that knee, untucking those toes, rolling up through the spine, and we press forward with the pelvis. Oh my goodness, this is as far as I can go today. Yeesh. Yep, it's pretty normal. Some days are better than others. Most others have been better than this, but that's where we're at. It's fine. Continuing to reach forward, maintaining good posture. Don't let yourself slouch here. And we'll gently release forward, tucking that toe, pushing back into a downward facing dog. Shredding through the feet for a moment. Gently walking those feet into a nice ragdoll here, yeah? So keeping a slight bend in the knees if you'd like. Grabbing both elbows and just rocking side to side here. Maybe nodding the head yes. Or shaking it no. Nodding it yes. Shaking it no. Good. Again, just taking a few more breaths here. And walking it back to a downward facing dog. We're going to shoot the downstage leg up towards the ceiling and bring it through into a low lunge. Couple cat-cows here. Good. Returning to low lunge. We're going to drop the knee, untuck the toes, rolling up through the spine. We're going to bring our arms up and over to interlace, reaching up through the crown of the head and through those fingertips. We're going to curve over into a C curve to get a nice stretch through the psoas. So again, this stretch isn't about how much you can lean forward. That really doesn't do anything for me here. It's more about reaching the crown of the head to the floor. And gently rolling up, releasing forward, low lunge, and back to downward facing dog. Treading through the feet, sending the upstage leg towards the ceiling, bringing it through into a low lunge. Good, couple cat-cows here. Good, returning to low lunge. And drop that knee, untuck those toes, rolling up through the spine, reaching up with those arms, fingers, crown of the head, reach up and carve over. Trying to release any tension here. And releasing up. Nice little ballet fourth for you. Forward. Tucking the toes and pushing back into downward facing dog. We'll tread through the feet here for a moment. Straightening those legs, hip towards the ceiling. And we're going to gently walk it forward. Feet to the hands, heel toe the feet out into a nice wide parallel second. And just release over here, stretching through the hamstrings. Maybe walking the torso over to the right leg. Doing a nice plie in the left. And straighten. One more time, plie. And straighten. Coming through center, other side. Taking hold of the left leg and plieing the right. And we straighten. And one more time, plie. And we straighten. Returning back to center. We're going to gently heel toe the feet inwards. Come up onto the toes. Plie over. Hang out here for a sec. And sitting back. Making your way to the floor. So we're going to start off with a nice little hip release here, yeah? So feet are planted on the ground, heels are in line with the sits bones, and we're just going to release the upper body, the lower body into the floor. We're going to gently take our hands, place them where our thighs meet our pelvis, and we're just going to gently push down and out a few times here. Your lower back might pop, that's pretty normal. But just be gentle. Just imagining trying to create some length in the spine. Stretching out the space in between the vertebrae after a long day. It's like a big yawn for your spine when you do these. Maybe take a yawn. Good. And then next thing we're going to do is just straighten those legs out in front of you. You're going to flex your feet, dig your heels into the ground, and we're just going to go into a small heel rock here. Couple more breaths here. Good. And bring our feet back in towards our pelvis. We're just going to windshield wiper side to side. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our right leg, bring it in towards our chest, give it a nice little squeeze. Good, we're going to straighten our bottom leg out, bring our right leg to passe and cross it over, reaching nice and far. Couple more breaths here. Then you're going to gently pick up your right knee, leave your right ankle crossed over your left leg, and bring it into a figure 4 stretch. Trying to keep this knee turned outside while pulling the leg in even closer. Next thing we're going to do is let those legs stay crossed, point your feet up towards the ceiling, and we're going to cross our legs and grab for our feet and pull them in nice and close. You should get a nice glute stretch through this. So the right leg is still the closest one into my chest. And the deeper the stretch, the closer you pull those feet in, but make sure that we don't let the knees uncross. The knees stay crossed. And very gently, you're just going to continue with this shape. So our back leg, our bottom leg falls flat onto the floor, whereas our top leg, our right leg, is going to plant into the ground. Knee stays pointing towards the ceiling, hip is pulling for the ground, and you should get a nice glute, like a cute glute stretch. For the deeper the stretch, the closer or the higher you pull this foot up towards your pelvis. Good. Next thing we're going to do is, we're going to take this leg that's planted onto the ground, we're going to roll towards it, roll over the leg, and into a pigeon stretch. But I'm going to shift this way so you guys can see me. Okay, there we go. Into a pigeon stretch. And we're going to gently, if you have room, unlike me, we're going to bend this back leg and sweep around, I think this way, yeah, this way, into a quad stretch. Couple more breaths here. And bringing that left leg in And letting those legs windshield wiper side to side. Nice job. All right. And we push back into should we go to a downward facing dog? Yes, I think so. Nope, just kidding. No downward facing dog. I was thinking the wrong series. We're gonna go left leg into our chest, pulling in nice and tight. And crossing over. Next thing we're going to do is come to our figure 4 stretch. Checking in with your breath. Are you breathing evenly? Are your shoulders hiked up to your ears? Are you still actively stretching? Is your tailbone reaching for the floor while your head reaches away? Pointing those toes up towards the ceiling, letting the legs cross, flexing the feet, and pulling the legs in towards the chest. Good, and letting the legs fall. Bottom leg releases onto the floor while the top leg stays planted. Couple more breaths here. Next thing we're going to do is walk into our pigeon stretch. This is going to be hard for you to do with this mirror right here. We take the planted foot, we roll over it into our pigeon stretch. That could have been way more graceful. However, my mirror was in the way, so I'm going to blame it on that. And releasing over as much as you can. positions like these to pinch the pelvis and create tension there. So try to release the front of those hips and push down into the floor. Good, and coming out of this stretch, we're going to sweep around into our quad stretch. Couple more breaths here. And bringing that leg in. Windshield wiper, bring the leg side to side. Line put a check on that timing. Okay, awesome. Last couple things we're gonna do, staying seated. Let's go ahead and just stretch out our frogs, yeah? So we'll start with the frog where our pelvis is reaching for the floor. So that's what's remaining off the floor while our ankles and our knees are holding us up. Like watching my dog outside of the frame. You guys probably like, what is she staring at? He's just so cute. He really needs a bath. All right, and we're gonna move forward. Now our hips are on the floor and it's our feet that we're reaching down to come flat, yeah? But while we're reaching down, we wanna make sure we don't sickle those feet in. Can you see my feet? I think so, yeah. We don't sickle them in, but the heels reach down and the toes remain up until the heels touch the floor. Good, and we're gonna tuck those, or tuck the toes, tuck the knees, push back into a child's pose. Stretch it out here for a second. And coming forward. Good. Coming to a comfortable seat. We're just gonna do a quick little neck stretch here. So I'm gonna take my right hand, scoop it around my back. Hi. Hold my hands. I'm gonna reach the crown of my head up towards the ceiling and let it fall over towards my hands to get a stretch through the right side of my neck. hands, pushing the head up towards the center, looking side to side. Good. Let's go ahead. Left hand behind the back. Hold hands. Reaching the crown of the head up and over. And the kink neck up to the side that hurts. And take some gentle movements to work that out. And releasing, pushing the head back up to center, looking side to side. Maybe taking a few head rolls here. Ooh, all right, that's still a lot for me right now. Ooh. All right. Okay. Returning back up to center, and we'll finish out our class with 3 nice even breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We begin sitting nice and tall, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Last time, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And one last exercise. We're just going to breathe in for a count of 5 and exhale for a count of 5. Just so that we know that we filled up evenly and emptied all the way. We have a tendency to not empty all the way our breath. So just go ahead on a count of 5. You have breathe in 1. Exhale 5. And finish nicely. Awesome job tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and taking class and stretching with me. I hope you guys are all doing super well and staying safe. Yeah, we're all in this together. So let's support each other through these troubling times and just try to make the best out of them, okay? All right. Well, thanks so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you guys again on Tuesday, and then check out my Jazz Basics class on Wednesdays if you're interested. All right. Good night, everyone.